This is the plaintiff, Dominic DeColandrea. He says he conducted 2 appraisals for the defendant and her divorcing husband and hasn't been paid. The defendant won't even respond to him. He wants his money for his time and work, is entitled to it, and is suing for the $1,200 he's owed. This is the defendant, Neely Fershpin. She says she never hired the plaintiff, never agreed to pay him anything, and has proved she got her own appraisal and paid for it. She's tired of the plaintiff, says he won't get off her back and can't get it through his thick skull that she owes him nothing. She's accused of not appeasing an appraiser.
Okay, Dominic DeColandrea?
Yes.
You are doing business as Cook Realty Appraisal Service. You are suing Neely
Yes.
Fershpan?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. For $1,200, half the cost of an appraisal that you conducted during her divorce, correct? Of 2 appraisals that you conducted during her divorce.
Correct.
Okay, talk to me. Tell me what's going on.
Your Honor, my company was hired in June of 2009 to appraise 2 properties.
Who were you hired by?
My understanding was by the defendant and her husband through their attorneys. There were
So
2
the
properties.
lawyer tells you the parties are going to split the costs? Or the
Exactly.
lawyer just says we need you to appraise a property?
No, the lawyer told me that the court had approved, that the defendant and her husband had agreed to sharing the cost of these appraisals equally.
Okay. Well, didn't you find it odd, though, that both lawyers didn't call you, one lawyer called you?
Correct.
Did you know the husband?
No,
Were you friends with the husband?
Not at all. No.
Okay. You think that they were friends? Because...
I find the appraisal suspicious.
Okay, now, why, when you say it's suspicious, these properties were being appraised because you're in the middle of a divorce with your husband.
Correct.
And explain to me what it is that you think was going on.
There are 4 properties in total. My ex-husband was in charge, responsible to appraise 2, and I was responsible to appraise the other 2. I never got half of my 2 appraisals, so I don't see why I need to pay the plaintiff. Why do I have to pay him half of his?
When you say he was responsible for 2 and I was responsible for 2, why is that?
Well, the judge agreed that we both will share the costs of the appraised properties, but we both, my ex-husband and I, have to agree on who does the appraisers.
Right.
I never was asked if the plaintiff is agreeable to me. I was never asked if the 2 properties should be appraised. In fact, what I'm claiming is if I was to be asked, I would say that the house did not need to be appraised because the house was put on the market. So there was no need to appraise the home.
Okay, but why weren't you saying all this stuff through your lawyer in your divorce?
Well, because I was never asked to begin with. As soon as the judge...
No, but I don't understand. You're suggesting that there's a court order. Do you have the court order?
No.
Okay, there's a court order that says that you will split the cost of the appraisers that you both agree on.
Right.
And yet you're saying that your husband ran out and hired an appraisal company that you did not agree on.
Correct.
So why wasn't this brought up by your lawyer before the final... Is your divorce final?
Yes, it's fine.
Right. Before the finalization of the divorce, why didn't the issue come up? It's not a secret that
No, absolutely.
So what happened?
Well, what happened is I decided that I would do the appraisal for the other 2 properties on my own, and I did so. And
so you figured it would all come out in the wash?
I thought it would.
But that's the kind of thing you got to get your husband, who appears not to agree with you on much, to agree to. So if you're gonna, you can't just change the court order. You see what I'm saying?
I did not change any court order.
Well, you sort of did, because the other appraisals may not be the exact same price as this appraisal. And if the order is that you're going to share the cost of the appraisals, then you take all 4 appraisals costs. And if all 4 is $5,000, you should end up $2,500 in the hole. He should end up. But that's not what happened. What really happens then is it sounds like you and your husband each run out and get your own appraiser who you hope will see things your way.
Yes.
Okay. And he was not your choice. You're saying your lawyer, and do you have a statement from your lawyer?
No, I don't. I never hired him. I never spoke with him. I never met him.
Do you have a retainer agreement?
An engagement letter? No,
Yeah.
I don't have one with me. However, She says she never met me.
You do realize that when you have something and don't have it with you, I can only assume it hurts your case, and that's the reason you don't bring it in.
No,
the
I just
engagement letter is signed by who? The lawyer for the husband?
I would agree. That's the truth.
Might that be why you didn't bring it?
No, I just I wasn't prepared with that. But the defendant did say we never met. She actually gave me access to the property when I inspected it.
Yes,
So
that's when I met
had
you.
she not hired me, I think she would have turned me away.
No. She could just assume that you're going to be paid by the husband. He has
That's
a right
right.
to have his own appraiser. In fact, what happens in here, because I see it, because you submitted it into evidence, is that your lawyer gets the appraisal, doesn't like it, and says, I gotten some nasty collection letters from him that talk about how good your side was at paying and how we're not returning his calls, and that brings into question his neutrality. We're not happy. We're going to run out and hire an appraiser.
Which I never did. I couldn't afford to.
Your husband was trying to keep the Manhattan condo?
No, I'm trying to keep the Manhattan condo. My ex-husband is trying to keep the office, what we call the building, the office.
Is she making this up?
For sure.
Why?
Doesn't want to pay?
Well, what's the motive? What do you think caused her to suddenly say, I'm not going to pay?
Yeah, but she didn't like the amount that he came up with for the appraisal.
Fair enough. Should she have divorced this? Should this guy have divorced her? Is this like a warning
Yes,
sign?
yes, indeed.
I think so too.
It's a little bit of a warning sign going inside the courtroom.
Do you have any copies of letters between the lawyers that talk about the fees for the appraisers?
I have nothing from the lawyers.
Did you
and-
talk to the lawyer and tell him
Yes,
you were getting
as far
sued?
as I'm concerned, that my lawyer tells me that this was never the choice of having the plaintiff was never discussed with my lawyer.
Do you have an affidavit from your lawyer saying that?
No.
Your Honor, there are some letters there between the attorneys.
Yeah, I just saw that you had some. Show me the proof of you paying for the other appraisals, by the way.
Sure.
Okay. There's an additional letter by the attorney for the husband, exasperated with your attorney, saying the appraiser came and no check was tendered. Someone in your office dishonestly told Mr. DiCalandria that his fee is part of a global settlement. His fee is not part of any settlement. He should not have to wait until the end of this action to be paid. The only agreement we have is that each party will pay 50%. This game must end. Your ridiculous statement about the appraiser's neutrality is laughable since his work was done long before the payment debacle arose. How dare you demean his professionalism based on the fact that your client refuses to pay? All right. Now, neutrality is something you agree on before the results come. You can't call somebody not neutral, oh, he must be a friend of my ex, after a result comes that you're not happy with. Neutrality is something you decide, okay, that person looks like a reputable expert, that's who we agree to hire. And I must tell you, all the series of letters that happen afterwards don't look like someone who got bamboozled into an expert they didn't want. There's not a single complaint about the expert going over there. There's a series of letters setting up the time. There's you meeting him there and opening up the door to him. There's no one saying, wait a minute, I wasn't part of that picking him. No, it sounds like maybe your side was part of the picking him or had no problem with it. And because you wouldn't be there to open the door otherwise, and your lawyer would have mentioned something in all these letters otherwise.
I had to open the door. My husband is half owner of this
Well,
property.
and that's lovely, but if the expert that's coming that you know by court order you're going to be paying half of is someone you object to, that's a good time to object. And if it's true that your lawyer didn't approve it, I bet you'd be here with a letter from your lawyer saying, I was bamboozled, I never picked this guy. This was solely the husband's lawyer's expert, and you don't have that, and that leads me to believe that you probably can't get it because it's probably not true.
No, because
all right?
you can't
And certainly all of the conduct that I am able to see in the divorce of the letters back and forth looks like they might have agreed to it. That's one. Two, all this other stuff you're talking about how, well, but I paid this, and then my husband owes me that. Go take it up with your husband in the divorce case. As far as this case is concerned, I am ordering you to pay the other half of the appraisal, $1,200, verdict for the plaintiff.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Well, that's what happens when you come into the court and you don't have any evidence, basically, to support your claims. You wind up coming out first as a loser in the case.
Well, at least it's behind me, and I'm very happy that I can move on now with my life.
Mm-hmm. How tough has this whole thing been for you? Courts over the divorce, courts over this?
Just absolutely miserable. Very glad it's over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Have you moved on? Have you put this?
Absolutely, absolutely. This is the last chapter. Yeah,
All right.
so life is going on, and it's beautiful.
All right, good for you. We wish you the best then, all right? You got to pay those bills. What were you doing in the middle of maybe that's not the best place for you to be trying to collect fees in the middle of a tough divorce like that.
No, it's par for the course. Business today.
This is what you do for a living?
Well, part of it, yeah, sure. Collecting is a big part of what we do.
Harvey?
Okay, Kurt, you know what? There's this legal principle in the law called basically sitting on your hands. You may have certain legal rights, but if you don't exercise them in a reasonable fashion, usually promptly, you're going to lose those rights. So you have a duty to speak up if you're right, and if you don't speak up, you're going to lose.